Yo, what's up, guys? It's Jordan. Welcome back to the channel. Hope y'all are having a great morning so far. A happy Monday. It's a new start to the week. And gosh, it's been a while since I've seen you guys. It's been probably over 6 months since I posted on this YouTube channel. So, welcome back, everybody. Appreciate you guys stopping by. We're going to run through a little bit of a trade breakdown or a live trade recap from the trade I took this morning on this Monday. We had some beautiful price action all the way up to almost midnight open. So almost got what I want there. You guys will see the breakdown in the video. But want to do more of these. And it seems like a lot of you guys want me to do more of these as well. So we're going to keep rolling out with more of these breakdown videos, whether that's, a recap of the trade I took or maybe, a recording of the live trade. That's what it's going to be today. I have a little recording from the trade we took this morning. So I'll play that here in the next few seconds. But appreciate everybody supporting the channel. Make sure you're liking and subscribing. And yeah, enjoy the content. All right, guys. So I'm in NASDAQ longs. Market just opened about 7 minutes ago. Going into the market open, you can see we're trading well under that 8:30 a.m. open, trading under midnight open. That makes me extremely bullish. So we got some longs right after this big impulsive move, making a big market structure shift over these highs, changing the state of delivery, order blocks, all of that. We're getting some nice momentum right now all the way up to midnight open. I only have one contract on, unfortunately. I was looking for a place to pyramid into this and be able to add. But as you can see, we're already trading decently over equilibrium of the range here from the low to my target. So anything over equilibrium is a little bit tougher. I usually like to get, any last pyramid entries are going to be under equilibrium, potentially at equilibrium or just above right here. Anything that's really in the upper range above equilibrium here is not viable. By the way, I apologize for being a little bit slower this morning. I was up a little bit late, so a little bit slower this morning, but we're here. We're getting it done on a Monday morning. I wouldn't mind getting a pyramid entry at this fair value gap. I do expect this fair value gap to stay open as a breakaway gap. Don't expect us to trade back into this. Looking to add one contract at that fair value gap if we get that test of it. Yeah, so on a 5-minute, I'm going to look for this to be our breakaway gap. Form bullish for value here on this next 5-minute candle. I expect us to tap into bullish for value. Respect that at most. If we do have to trade into the breakaway gap, I expect just wicks and not to get under consequence encroachment. So here's that new candle opening. I'd like to see it form a fair value gap here, and then next 5-minute candle test into that. If we don't get a test of this to pyramid into this play and get another entry, I'll look to potentially take another entry on this 5-minute fair value gap. It might be a little bit tougher though, because we can definitely just tap into the top of it and respect it and go higher. But I'm going to try and get entries more towards equilibrium. So might be a little bit tougher of a pyramid entry on that one. How's good? RTY looking strong. Dow's looking strong. All their other assets are participating as well. Traded back into that new day opening gap. I guess it's a new week opening gap. So you can see we traded back into that new week opening gap. I need to change this to new week. But we're respecting that perfectly right now. So might not get the pyramid entry that I wanted. Realistically, most of the time, as you guys know, when we get this inversion and change in the state type of play, we generally come back, test that change in the state. We never really got that, so I didn't get the first entry that I wanted. That would have, if I was able to get the first entry that I wanted, maybe towards a little more down here, I would have been able to then pyramid at the second entry I took, or even pyramid at this breaker here, and then be able to take this thing higher with a couple more contracts. But it is what it is. Still making some money. This is on my live funded account as well. So we've been playing a little bit smaller because the funds in this account are not nearly as much as I'm used to playing with. So risk has been much smaller on this account. Still not bad though. I think we'll make around $400 at full target here. So still not a bad trade at all. 5 minutes still forming. Got to get into macro time. 5 minutes till macro time. I expect this 950 macro to be expansion to our midnight open. I'll still potentially look for this pyramid entry now. So now, I know we were listening to that breakaway gap in the lower time frame, but now 5 minute breakaway gap, 5 minute bullish for value. We delete that. So essentially, again, this is a little high over equilibrium, about 26 points over equilibrium. So I'd like to try and get an entry a bit lower. But generally, the rule of thumb is entry goes at the top of the fair value gap, and you risk to that breakaway gap, the consequence encroachment of it. Because rule of thumb is, if we are correct here, at most we should trade into this fair value gap, respect it, or potentially even wick into this breakaway gap, but we should never trade further than the consequence encroachment, right? And any wicks Any candlesticks that do get into this breakaway gap should only be wicks, and you should see an instant reaction back to the upside. If you see any candle closures in the breakaway gap, that's generally a tell that it's not going to work out for you. So breakaway gaps are amazing. I love using them in my trading. They're not going to obviously show up for every single play that you have, but they can be helpful in kind of understanding where you want to pyramid next into a position, or just finding a high quality entry in general. So it doesn't look like we're wanting to trade into this gap just yet. We might not have to at all. So I might just have to accept that, we make this play with one contract. And again, that's fine. I'm risking smaller on this account. I wasn't looking to put on a ton of contracts. At most, I was just going to add one more. So not too bad. And again, risking, even though it's only $400, I was risking about $150 on this trade initially. So really good RR here, regardless of it being, not a lot of money in dollar value. Got to get into that 950 macro. Again, I want that to be expansion to these highs into that midnight open. We do have these relative equal highs sitting here. That could be a bit of an issue. Just take a look at ES as well. I don't know where its midnight open was. And I don't play, when I'm using midnight open, I don't really use SMTs at midnight open very often. For instance, what I mean by that is if ES right now was tapping into midnight open, which is my target on NQ, I wouldn't worry about it too much. It's not even tapping into it anyway. But let's say we were tapping into this right now and not hitting it on NQ. A lot of the time when I have SMT at, my draw on liquidity, I will generally take some off. But when we're trading these midnight opens, I don't tend to do that. It's just because the probability of us rebalancing to this midnight open is so high. I don't have reason to. So we're continuing to have efficiency and price. I wonder if that kind of stops at these relative equal highs. We can, of course, remove our risk from this trade completely now. I should have done that a little bit earlier, but I was just talking through things. But risk can be completely removed from this trade. There's no reason why we should be holding this trade if we were to come down here. Still haven't tested this 5-minute bullish for value gap. We don't necessarily need to, but I'm still interested if we do tap in down there to pyramid into this. Here's 950 macro time. So again, you guys can see the efficiency and price. What do I mean by efficiency? I mean, how fast do I get from entry to target? And how clean is it? Right? And do I have much drawdown? You can see I basically had no drawdown on this trade, right? And what has price been doing the whole time since I've been entering? Absolutely just chugging to target here, right? That is efficiency and price. What is not efficiency and price? Right? Well, I would argue this type of price action, right? If you're bullish here, you're targeting midnight open. This is not efficient price action. You may have been efficient up until this area, and then what happened? You started disrespecting bullish for value, running through that. You get a change in the state of delivery here, or bearish order block, right? You start respecting bearish fair value, trading lower, right? Just inefficient price action. And 1 second we were respecting bullish for value, looking good. The next second we're trading through that and a lot more bearish, right? So Just goes to show you always want to be placing yourself in that efficiency if possible. And if not, I mean, most of the time it's best to not be trading at all. Try to tap into these relative equal highs. Relative equal highs are hit. So we're going to delete this pyramid entry because I'm clearly not going to get that. What I do want to do here, though, is start to aggressively trail my stop a bit. We should not trade down here. If we were to trade under this up close candle, that would be a problem because we would try and be creating a bearish order block here, which should not be happening if we're going to go to midnight open here, which also I need to slightly change this. This is not fully at target. There we go. I want that pinpointed at the target. So yeah, I got to get a lot more aggressive with my trail stop here. Even though I wanted us to trade down here, we're this close to midnight open. I need to get a little bit more aggressive with my trail stop. So relative equal highs hit. Of course, I want that midnight open, but hitting these relative equal highs not necessarily needed. So I have my stop down here for the reason being that we can trade to the bottom of this candle and still hold. And, it could be trying to create that bearish order block, but hold this instead. Because if we were to get a down close candle, right, under these last series of up close candles, that would be a change in the state of delivery or a bearish order block, right? So we don't want to see that. But also, there's room to rebalance to this 1 minute fair value gap. I want to see that hold if we do tap into that. So throwing my stop down here below these up close candles. Don't expect us to trade there. If we do, I still make some money. If not, we respect this bullish fair value and try and continue higher into midnight open here. Definitely seeing a little bit more reaction from the bears off these relative equal highs. But again, as long as we're respecting bullish fair value, doesn't really matter too much. So I like that reaction from the bulls, seeing that initially. We're not even having to trade to this fair value gap to see that quite yet. All good if we do, though. So as we're taking out some of these previous highs where I know we could see previous potential rejection, what am I looking for? I'm looking to see if efficiency and price is slowing down, right? Are we hitting this level and starting to trade sideways more? We don't know quite yet, right? Because this could just be a little bit of a pause and we break right through this. But if we start to trade here and are unable to make consistent higher highs, I know that this is a big point of interest for the bears. And we could potentially, not get what we want here at midnight open. So we'll see what happens here. But again, I know it's abnormal if we start going sideways here, because what have we been doing all morning since entry? Absolutely just ripping to the upside. Little pause here, rip, right? Little pause here, I want to see rip pretty fast here soon. So again, if we're not getting that, if we try and bust highs again here, make that leg up, and we fail it, and we end up just wicking the highs and coming right back in from these relative equal highs, that's not a good sign to get the full target here. Still in that macro time, 5 minutes until the new 4-hour candle opens and 10 o'clock Eastern hits. I don't believe, let's see if I don't even know if we have data today. Maybe that's a good thing for me to look at, huh? Doesn't look like we have data, no. So no data. Maybe there's something on Financial Juice. Just some Fed speakers. So we're trying to make these highs here. Kind of failing them there. We should just be able to run through this no problem. So I'm going to move my stop up just below this fair value gap. We should respect that if we need to dip at all here. So even if we don't get what we want, we make over 100 points on this trade, regardless of what happens next. Again, entries on this could have been much better. I was a little caught off guard going right into the market open, so I got a little bit of a later entry here and was not able to pyramid into the position like I normally like to. But again, is what it is. We work with what we get on a Monday, and we try and set ourselves up for a decent week. Give ourselves a little bit of cushion. All right, let's see if we respect this for value gap here. If I had more than one contract on, I would have taken some off at these relative equal highs. Of course, only with one contract, I'm going to try and sit and get my full target and trail my stops aggressively. But ideally, I had two contracts on, take one off here, and then manage the risk the exact same way here. Expecting bullish for value so far. It's also 5-minute bullish for value. So doubled up there. Again, we could trade down here and everything be fine. But that would mean we're losing a decent amount of efficiency in the market, and I don't want to be long anymore if we have to trade down here. Even though it could be okay, we could respect this and just go higher. At this point, getting that close to midnight open, I would just want us to respect this lower time frame for value gap and go higher. Might not get what we want there though, and that's okay. We did exactly what we needed to here. We're protecting our risk as we should. We're trailing stops aggressively after getting, just 15 points away from target. I guess 25 points. Got a little bit of a bearish order block here as well, which isn't helping us too much. You don't have much displacement. Like, we didn't create any for value gaps on that way down, which makes me feel a little bit better about that order block potentially failing. Still respecting bullish fair value. Not seeing the aggressive reaction I'd want to see yet, but all candle bodies are respecting it, so that's a good sign. All candle bodies still respecting their value gap. Came close to our stop there. Again, all good if we want to get stopped out on this. We did exactly what we wanted to. We're trailing our stops at over 100 points. So stopping out on this would not be a bad thing. Of course, I'd much rather us go to that full TP because I'm only in one contract, but it is what it is. It's a Monday. We take what we get on a Monday. And there's that stop out there in profit. Decent morning. Didn't keep that efficiency to midnight open, but we don't need it. We rebalanced those relative equal highs, and it's a beautiful trade. All on the live funded account on Trade of 8. I know a lot of people care about this green light and seeing the account balance. So there's that. Always trading a bit smaller on this live account since it is, a $2,300 account. Gotta keep the risk small. But it just goes to show, guys, that even with keeping the risk small, I was risking about $150 on this trade today. Made 200 on the stop out, and at full TP would have made $400 there, right? So in terms of risk to reward, doing extremely well. Obviously, risk has to be a bit smaller on an account like this, but we just chug along on an account like this, right? Keep it small, play those high quality plays that we know the market can offer us, and yeah, we build it slowly. That's gonna do it for this one, y'all. I appreciate everybody coming by and supporting the channel. If you haven't yet, make sure you're liking and subscribing on the channel. We're gonna do more of these breakdown videos and live trading videos. So I hope you guys like them. Let me know in the comments if you guys want more of them or what kind of videos you guys might want. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one.